The first road bridge over the Amur River is now being used by freight traffic. This bridge connects China's Heihe and Russia's Blagoveshchensk. Russia and contemporary China have been divided for many years by the Amur River. Of the total 2,500 miles of the border, 1,000 miles are traversed by its waters. But one thing has always been missing: the vehicle bridge. Over the past few years, political and economic ties between Moscow and Beijing have grown. Both are motivated by a desire to balance the U.S. dominance worldwide. As a result of its invasion of Ukraine, Russia is now becoming more dependent on Beijing economically, with great fanfare that seems to be changing. Hello, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Mega Projects. Today we are going to talk about the mega bridge connecting China and Russia. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also press the bell icon so you can get notifications about our upcoming latest videos. Let's start the video. Beijing and Moscow both praised the opening of the new link, which was the first highway bridge across the Amur, as claimed by the media on both sides. Local elected officials were applauding from the river's banks. Their bosses might be arriving from Moscow and Beijing on big television screens that were brought in for the day. 8 freight trucks from China and Russia made their first journey over the route, crossing the kilometer-long bridge one at a time. Drones flew overhead as they passed each other, each driving a taxi with 2 massive national flags on either side. The Chinese freighters carried electronics and tires. Moscow claims that the Russians manufacture sawn timber and soybean oil. If there had been any viewers who weren't sure what the symbolism meant, they should have known it was coming because Moscow is eager to show that it still has allies and commercial partners despite the conflict in Ukraine. A brand new 1,080-meter cross-border road bridge now connects Russia and China. As a result, the nation's diplomatic and commercial ties will be reinforced. A bridge over the Amur River connects the Chinese city of Heihe with the city of Blagoveshchensk in eastern Russia. This bridge is known as the Heihe in China. On the Russian side of the bridge, BTS Most was in charge of construction. According to the report, the new infrastructure will shorten the required shipping route from China to western Russia by 930 miles. Shovels first hit the ground on the Russian and Chinese sides of the bridge at the same time in December 2016. Each country built 540 meters, perfectly dividing the project in half. The Russian portion was built by a crew of 960 workers that worked around the clock for the state-owned Amur region contractors, which includes Moscow and Asphalt Co. In May 2019, the ends were rejoined after each nation utilized its banks. The bridge was expected to open by the spring of 2020 and was reportedly completed by the end of 2019. An official ceremony was held to inaugurate it on Friday, June 10, 2022. According to Chinese officials, the Chinese side is ready to cooperate with the Russian side to push for the stable and long-term growth of practical bilateral cooperation. The $369 million projects connect Blagoveshchensk, the Amur region's capital in Russia, and Heihe, a city in Heihe province, China, twin cities. Moscow estimates that it will be able to transport 2 million passengers and 4 million tons of cargo annually once it fully operates. The border bridge is currently owned by both the Amur region and the Heihe province. Its ownership rights are divided at the Russian-Chinese border. The bridge will reduce the distance between the two cities by 300 kilometers, while considerably enhancing cross-border trade and economic relations. According to estimates, 4 MT of freight will be traversed yearly in 600 freight vehicles per day. About 2 million passengers each year will use it. This project will likely lead to more bilateral trade between China and Russia. It has already been projected to increase as Moscow increasingly turns to Beijing for economic collaboration. There are still questions about how far China will go to help its neighbor that is subject to sanctions. The new bridges act as a symbol of the two countries' expanding ties. They have grown under Putin and Xi, and Moscow's objective is to reach $200 billion in trade by 2024, up from a record-breaking $146 billion last year, which was revealed this spring. According to the Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, the Blagoveshchensk Bridge has multiple symbolic meanings in today's divided world. It will grow into another thread that ties the Chinese and Russian people together. Thousands of people worked non-stop on the construction in the Russian and Chinese portions. This bridge is unique since it was built using a concession concept without financial support. By improving the border infrastructure, we are paving the way for the economic growth of both nations and the combined utilization of several benefits. We assist in enhancing the quality of life for citizens of the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation. There is a chance that Heihe and Blagoveshchensk border relations, which were already prosperous due to trade and tourism before the pandemic, will become much more intricate. It might usher in a brand new era for the region. According to local media, all Blagoveshchensk children must start Chinese language training on September 1. The provincial capital of Heihe is Heihe. Roughly 31 million people are living there. The Amur River in Blagoveshchensk reflects the city's lively skyline, which has recently grown to be colorful. Blagoveshchensk has historically seen slower growth and a population outflow to Western Russia. Much like the larger Far Eastern region, the region's 8 million residents only account for 5% of the nation's population despite making up more than 40% of its area. But according to you, this time, Western sanctions on Russia seem to have helped alleviate these misconceptions and worries about China's impending immigration. Russian official media applauded the bridge as a significant diplomatic and economic victory on a national scale. Additionally, it highlights the major question of how far Beijing will go to support Russia amid the current global crisis. Its invasion of Ukraine has been justified. China has so far lifted a fine line. Beijing has asserted that it supports a global system of laws, while declining to join most nations in criticizing Moscow's action. So it is imitating Kremlin tactics, blaming NATO and the United States for the situation, using its official media machinery. Additionally, some imports from its neighbor that has been subject to harsh sanctions have increased. High-tech exports with caution, seeming cautious to prevent any injuries to oneself. Many Western countries have erected obstacles to exporting to Russia. Soybean oil was the first shipment of goods to arrive in China from Blagoveshchensk on the day of the grand opening. It highlights the economic importance that Russia plays for China as a supplier of raw materials and commodities. Initial designs for the highway bridge included connecting to new industrial zones and facilitating commodities transit. The Chinese city of Heihe, which has a metro population of 1.3 million, transports passengers between cities. Approximately 25,000 people live in the city of Blagoveshchensk. A 2 million increase in Chinese tourists is anticipated due to the new bridge. Tourists won't be able to utilize the road because it will initially only be accessible to cargo trucks. It will take another year and a half to build a crossing point that will allow passenger transit, including tour buses, to cross the bridge. Kozlov thinks there might be a more efficient and cost-effective way to get people to the other side. Russia is also building a cableway to cross the Amur River. That's all for today. Comment below with your thoughts on what fascinates you the most about the recently opened bridge linking China and Russia. Do you intend to visit this place as a tourist? Don't forget to share the video with your family and friends. We will be back with another amazing video on mega projects soon. Thank you for watching.